In this video, we're going to talk about Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. And UDL is founded or based in equity. So we're going to start there. You might have seen this image before, equity and equality. Equality is when everyone gets the same thing. Everyone gets one box. Equity is when everyone gets what they need. So the shorter guy gets 2 boxes because he needs them. Now this image has been critiqued a little bit because it makes it look like it is the fault of the little guy that he can't see. And so it's kind of a deficit perspective. Whereas, human beings built that fence that high. It's not his fault that that was built. And so some have suggested this image right here where we're showing that it's not that the fault of the height of the student necessarily, it's that the systemic variables, the slant in the grass that's outside of the control of the student is the problem. Now that's great and all, but what if we had someone really short, or can we always fix this problem with these boxes? Well, a little side idea here. In 1945, Kalamazoo, Michigan, there was a problem. Students in wheelchairs could not get around very well because of that curb cut. Now we could think, okay, we're going to make this more equitable. So we're going to give them special accommodations since they can't do the same thing as everyone else. But there's actually a different way to address this. Instead of just giving one person accommodations, for example, or letting them be later to class or any other special privileges, we can actually do something that's going to help everyone in the structure of our environment. It goes along with this picture. If we just change that fence to a chain link fence, then everyone can see, and we don't have to be adding all those different supplements. We're going to change one thing that's going to support for everyone. So when we talk about the wheelchairs and the curbs, they created curb cuts. So curb cuts are those little dips in the sidewalk like this or here that make it easier for people in wheelchairs to cross the street and get off the sidewalk. But when they created them, they found that they also really help a lot of other people in strollers and wheeling luggage and such. So a change for one type of person that was structural like this ends up helping a lot of people. And that's where we come to universal design. We're making design accessible to everyone. So here's just some other images they talk about. Instead of stairs, we're going to make something that everyone can participate in, etc. There's some examples of these in technology. So for example, the original addition of captions to TV and videos was for the hard of hearing. And it really pushed the text-to-voice technology forward. And now everyone can use it. Everyone can enjoy the captions for different reasons. It can help people learning languages, if you're in a noisy airport, etc. So that change actually helps everyone. One of the problems with how we do things a lot is that we try to design something for the average person. And ultimately, average doesn't exist. There's really no one that in everything they're average in. So it's important to think about when we design stuff, how do we support all kinds of different people, because there's no one central that we can design for. So that's where we get to universal design for learning. UDL talks about 3 different networks, and they actually map these to brain areas. I haven't read all the research on this. It's a very popular idea that is supported by a lot of people. So I'm not sure about the brain networks, but I do know there is some research there. So the areas are the affective networks, which is the why, recognition, which is the what, and the strategic, which is the how of learning. And we want to address each of these. So for the affective why, we're interested in multiple means of engagement. We want to make sure that things are interesting, they help people persist, and help with self-regulation. So whether I'm a very engaged student and in math or in English, I'm going to have a teacher who's going to try to make everything engaging so that all across the board, all the students can somehow be engaged. That might mean making adaptations on the interest, drawing on students' interests and such. But we're thinking about how to make this effective for everyone. Recognition networks is multiple means of representation. So when I'm thinking about things, perception, language and symbols, comprehension, I'm thinking about how can I represent things in multiple ways to help people understand them. Then finally, the strategic pathway is multiple means of action and expression. So I'm going to give people options for how they express and communicate. And I'm going to support different kinds of executive function with how they're working. So it's a very intentional way to make sure that what we design for learning supports all learners. So takeaways: universal design for learning. It focuses on it, making learning accessible for everyone. If you improve accessibility for some, it'll often improve it for all. And then we look at the why, which is improving engagement, the what, different forms of representation, and how, the different forms of action and expression. Thanks for watching.